and welcome back to the first ever episode of Still Scrolling with a professional screenwriter, Nathan, aka The Favoring Wind, also an avid pumpkin enthusiast. Nathan, how are you? Welcome to the pod.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm having a great day because I learned yesterday that pumpkin spice beers are already available in grocery stores, and that means the world is gonna be a better place. Superman was right.
That's right. The world is healing. As always, welcome back to the pod. I'm your host, Derek.
And I'm your other host, Stefania.
Our third usual host, Justin, is too busy being better than us at San Diego Comic-Con, or on his way there,
He's been
rather.
traveling. He's been traveling.
Yep. He keeps abandoning us for greater pursuits, which,
Yeah.
I'm still
We
kind
keep
of
replacing
inspired.
him, though. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm inspired by Superman still, so, I'm just going to say good for him.
Right,
Good for him.
Superman. Until this week, Fantastic Four.
Yes, and I feel like that will allow me to be very Doctor Doom coded, right? Not that he's in the movie per se, but I can go back to hating on Justin for his travel
Maybe more
habits.
Galactus.
Petty family behavior, at the very least.
Petty family. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Johnny Ben type of situation.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, we've got a very interesting week in news to cover, not the least of which is major bombshell revelations when it comes to popcorn bucket surplus situation. Nathan, you were saying something earlier about this, and I think we needed to share this because this is major news. Something I didn't expect because the mainstream media doesn't want you to know this.
They're suppressing
Nathan,
this
fill us in.
information.
Yeah. Fill us in. What's going on with popcorn buckets?
So I had no idea about this yesterday until I went to go see Superman for a third time and noticed like some Mission Impossible buckets at my AMC. And I went up to a supervisor. I was like, hey, can you like still sell those? How much are they for? And I learned several things. One, they're no longer even in their system, like the button to sell them. So they can't sell them to anybody. They're not going to return them to corporate to recycle them. And they don't resell them to guests anymore. So many AMCs, including the giant one in my area, have like closets in the back full of hundreds, if not thousands, of unused specialty popcorn buckets. I posted a couple of times about this weekend, and I have comments telling me two very polar things. One, that at some places they have popcorn buckets going back like 6 or 7 years.
Whoa.
And then completely the flip side, if you go to some place like Regal, they sell their stuff at a discount. Like they'll like tie a whole bunch of stuff from Captain America together and sell that for $15. Or if you go and they just want to get rid of something, they'll hand it to you. They'll like hand you a Mufasa cup instead of a regular Regal cup just to get it out of there. So very weird news about AMC.
It's very Indiana Jones, that huge warehouse where they put the Ark of the Covenant, and it's just kind of like a bunch of stuff in storage for, I guess, ever.
Yeah.
7 years ago is crazy, though. To
Yeah.
just have it sitting there.
Is it not just like, do they not lose money from that? Like, are they not concerned? Do they not try and make back their money by selling it at a discounted rate?
Here's the several things I've been able to pick up. One, there's always the possibility when companies don't want to resell their product that they are actually holding on to them as an asset that they can leverage in a financial sense. So it's like, hey, we've got, $10,000 worth of popcorn buckets here. We'd like to use that to borrow $10,000 maybe from the bank.
Oh.
The other thing I learned is that there's a possibility that some of these are under very specific licensing rights. So like, let's say, I'm not going to get myself in trouble by saying a particular studio, but let's say one studio still owns all of the licensing rights around everything that they did for that movie. So the company can't sell it at a discounted rate, only at full price. So it's cursed to stay there forever. And then the third thing is that AMC has tried two different ways of reselling these popcorn buckets, and none of them have neither has become ubiquitous. One was trying to resell them online, which they did a couple years ago, but but that online portal now leads to a 404 error, so they've stopped doing that. And the other thing is that some AMCs will do like an end of the year sale around Christmas time to clear out some of that inventory, but that seems to be like on an individual regional basis.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So now, I mean, there's a lot of popcorn buckets that sell out, and especially if the movie does really well. Like, I don't know if it was for Cinemark or AMC, but the toothless popcorn bucket, yeah, that one too. Toothless popcorn bucket sold out pretty fast. Um, and like I remember I was trying to find it because I really wanted it. It looks so cute, but I can't find it unless you find it on eBay for like double the price or whatever.
That's another thing, is that I think they're afraid of tickets, or of like product scalpers, which some
Yeah.
theater employees do. I used to work at a movie theater like 10 years ago, and plenty of people will grab whether it's the posters or the promotional material, and they'll just resell that online at a high markup. So they might be trying to
Gotcha.
avoid that.
You know, my theater near me, I have a Cinemark theater. They used to not sell, they would be free. They had stacks of IMAX posters. So whatever movie was in IMAX at that time, they would have them. You could just grab them and go, right? They don't have that anymore. My brother used to collect each one of them, whichever movie we saw in IMAX, and we don't have them. They don't have them anymore. I still find the IMAX posters like in storage that we have, and they're not that big either.
No, they're like, I know exactly which ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're like roughly the size of my screen compared to me.
Yeah.
They still have them at my IMAX in my area. My IMAX is a Regal. The thing that they stopped doing that I loved doing, or I loved seeing, was the little promotional pins. Like, I have a promotional pin from X-Men Apocalypse for seeing it in IMAX.
Oh, cool.
And that was awesome.
Yeah. No, it was just the posters for us, and I want the poster. I think the last time I got one was when Beauty and the Beast came out.
Wow, that's a long time back.
Yeah, I don't know if they stopped doing it at like when COVID happened. I feel like after COVID they stopped doing it. I'm not sure.
I saw one. We
The
got one for the
posters.
Flash.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I think the pins would be a perfect, in my opinion, the enamel pins would be a better, like, collector exclusive thing for movies over popcorn buckets. I feel like the popcorn
Yeah.
bucket situation is such a waste, right?
There-
Because, you know, who's
I'm
really
looking at my
using it for
Wolverine one
popcorn?
over there.
There's only
Right,
so
yeah,
many
me-
you can have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind getting the tin ones. Like, the plastic ones, it's like, what's this for? This is for if you're
Yeah.
sick and need a place to throw up, or if you end up getting like 7 children and everyone wants their own popcorn bucket someday. But that's like long-term planning. The tins, however, you can use tins to store things like documents or, you know, sewing material or whatever. And you can also use tins to keep things cold. So like if you're going on a picnic, you can, you know, make an ice bucket for your, you know, cold beers or cold sodas or whatever. And, you know, bring those with you. But
Yeah, some are practical for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Wolverine one from Deadpool and Wolverine, the one that Deadpool designed, quotation. That's just chilling in a box right across from me. 'Cause I had it, I didn't even really have it on display. It was just there, and I kind of needed to get it out of the way. So now it's just chilling in the box.
Yep. And speaking, I mean, I think the tin ones are probably the only practical ones. The Shy Halusi, that one's probably pretty practical too.
What?
Maybe
What?
not for the best reasons, right?
Oh,
The Shy
go
Halusi.
back. What is that?
the
The
Dune
Shy
one?
Halusi, you don't know? Yeah, the Dune one.
Oh, the Dune
The-
one. Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah,
know
they
the
call
name.
it a Shy Halusi.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
My
Gotcha.
favorite one was the Nosferatu one at AMC. It's just a giant tin coffin. So
Yeah.
it's like, this is perfect for like storing literally anything we want, because it basically came with a
Yeah.
lid. Like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I have two other ones. One of them is I have on display on a shelf. That is the Optimus Prime popcorn bucket from Rise of the Beasts, the one that like the eyes glow.
Ooh.
Also
That's pretty
from
cool.
Rise of the Beasts. I think it's an AMC one. It's Optimus Prime's truck form. It's like a very long tin truck back popcorn bucket, and like right now it's in storage. I don't have it on display because I have no space for it, but yeah, I like that one a lot too.
So
I see.
basically, Stefania is single-handedly killing the planet with all the popcorn buckets she purchases,
3?
contributing to the production of all this plastic and
3?
waste.
I gotta be fair to Stefania. I own, let me just say, in my view right now, I can see 5.
Oh my god.
I have the Superman, mailbox from AMC. I have the Deadpool, little whirligig head. I have the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes one because it came with a, Caesar's window necklace. I have a light up Flash one. I have the Nosferatu one, and then somewhere in a closet I have Infinity War, Last Jedi, and Endgame.
Whoa, those
Oh
go
my goodness.
back.
So
I-
basically, we've invited a rich person onto our
No,
podcast.
someone who's
right?
terrible with his money. I make awful financial decisions.
I'm gonna
the
need you to cut me a
secretariat.
check here.
Now, I really, since Fantastic Four is coming out this week, I really want that Galactus bucket because I don't care if there's popcorn in it or not. I don't care. I just want it on display. That thing looks sick. They're selling it at Cinemark and AMC, and I recently found a $20 AMC gift card that I had from a long time ago, and it's still, actually $25, and it is still full, and I want to use it to buy it because it's not cheap.
That
You know the
Is it on sale right now?
if it is,
Curious.
it's probably gonna be crazy ridiculous because I've seen some people.
$180.
No,
That's
it's not
resale.
$180.
That's resale.
That's resale.
Yeah,
I'm actually
it's
gonna
supposed
check
to be
AMC right now.
$80. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
$80 at the theater, and I've seen some people go get it. They don't even have tickets for the movie; they just go to buy the bucket.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah. So like,
Now,
I'm
I'm
sure
curious.
they're, if not sold out, they're probably already existing in the wild through the resale markets.
Let's see. Oh, did you guys see the car one? It's a Regal exclusive. The Fantastic
Car.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's beautiful.
I haven't seen
So-
that one. I've seen the Reed Richards one where it's him. It's just a regular bucket, but then he's like grabbing it himself, stretching
Yeah.
with his stretchy powers.
So I'm
Um,
looking at AMC's website right now, and the Gladiator 2 bucket was $11.99. Now they're selling it for $4.80 on their website.
Oh my gosh.
I
That's
want,
wild.
Yeah.
I want that car so much. Stefania, I had no idea
Yeah.
it existed. I collect
You
little
saw it?
die-cast tin cars. That's awesome in a way that
Yeah.
makes me mad to be broke.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and see if I can go to my local AMC and find the bucket, see if they have it, so I can use my gift card because I don't want to spend $80 on a popcorn bucket.
Mhm. Absolutely, but
But no.
so it seems like you just confirmed something Nathan was saying earlier, that it seems like it is a financial strategy because they're selling directly, themselves are selling the older buckets for how much was it? That Gladiator 2 bucket?
It was $11.99, so not that expensive, but now it's $4.80, 60% off.
It's weird that they don't
Right.
have it for everything, though. It's like they must have just tons of Gladiator buckets that they're trying to get rid of because the Mission Impossible, I'm over on the AMC website too, the Mission Impossible section doesn't show the bucket, even though like the location I went to was like, we have hundreds in the back. We have, we didn't sell any. We've got tons.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know when, because I'm looking at Regal for their popcorn bucket. They actually have two. So they have the Fantastic Car and the tub bucket where it's each like quarter of it is like a different Fantastic Four member. So like you could tell who is Sue, Reed, Sue Storm, Johnny, and the Thing.
Yeah, they're really leaning into the team dynamic, and what I really like about the Fantastic Four movie marketing is that it matches the like in-universe dynamic that they have with the world, where they're sponsored by product. They have product sponsorships and merch and all that stuff. They're doing that in real life, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, it's for the collectors, and they know they'll make their money on it.
Yep.
I do want to ask though, because this popcorn bucket craze is relatively new, right? If you can go back, it could be any era, any year, any decade, and have a popcorn bucket for a movie that, for the most part, didn't get one because of the time it came out in, what movie would it be?
It's a very good question.
I bet the original Guardians of the Galaxy would have had a sick Groot popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
They
very true
would've.
because he was huge back then. His head or something.
Yeah, or just
Okay.
what if it was like a pot like to grow baby Groot in, and there was a little baby Groot on the side.
Cute. I think if you go back to Spider-Man 2, if you have like Green Goblin's glider as a popcorn bucket, that would be pretty sick.
I see your goblin glider, and I will raise you a goblin helmet.
I was gonna say helmet, but I think a glider would be really cool because you see a lot of helmet popcorn buckets, but a
Yeah.
glider, that would be sick.
I would say Lord of the Rings, and you would make it like you'd probably have a couple different options, right?
Yeah.
But I think Mount Doom would be a good one, right? Some sort of like just mountain and then, an opening for the popcorn.
Yeah.
Or if they could figure out a way to make it so that the ring itself could be some sort of a popcorn bag
That
or
would be
something.
like a huge ring.
Or-
Yeah.
Right.
The
It'd
ring
be like
would
the
be-
prop ring.
Yeah.
The ring would be like a koozie around your soda cup. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually would find it sick to have a Balrog head.
Yeah. There's so many,
Yeah.
a Palantir. You could just do like, the Palantir with an opening up top. So, there's tons of options. But
Yeah.
let's talk about something besides popcorn buckets for
So
a minute
hard.
here, right? Yeah, it is very difficult. We've got a lot of announcements, a lot of stuff to look forward to over the next really 10 years. But in more recent news, we've got the final trailer for Stranger Things, I think it is, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And a new trailer for Mortal Kombat Part 2.
We also have the new trailer for Tron Ares. It's not Ares, it's Ares. That's how it's
God,
pronounced.
I hate that. I hate that even more now. And
Yeah, I
please
was
don't tell
like,
me that. Don't tell me that Eris is a name of a character, and please God, don't tell me that it's Jared Leto. That it's his name.
It is.
Oh God,
That,
I hate this
'cause
movie.
They say his name in the trailer, and I was like, Ares. It looks like Ares. But
It's
a god
Yeah.
Ares.
It's one thing when you're like, oh, I've only ever read this word in print, and here's how we're going to pronounce this thing that's never been said before that's only in print. Aries
Yep.
is a pretty commonly spoken word. and
Yeah.
name.
It's yeah, everyone knows the god Ares. Like that's kind of how, I don't know. It's just
Yep, absolutely.
Anyways.
There's not one movie that I'm conflicted about more, right? Because I like the Tron movies. I don't like Jared Leto, and I like it even less now that his name is not Ares, it's Eris. Like, did they not
Yeah.
learn from the first Avatar: The Last Airbender movie, where they just purposely mispronounced a name that everybody knows how to pronounce?
my name is Ong.
Ong. Yeah. But I am looking forward to Mortal Kombat Part 2. I'm skeptical. I'm hopeful, but I'm skeptical because the first one was weird.
Yeah.
But this time around, they seem to be a little bit more self-aware of what people didn't like about the first one. They seem to be a little bit. They definitely are self-aware of the fact that they were a reboot and they're making fun of themselves within the movie and Johnny Cage's story. But Stefania, what did you think of the trailer?
I don't know Mortal Kombat. You can't ask me that.
Have you seen the trailer though?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw Chun
Nathan,
Li.
what do you think of the trailer?
I saw is Chun Li, right?
Nope.
He's
No,
not
what's her
in
name?
the trailer.
Oh
I
my
think
god.
he's in the
It's not.
movie.
Oh my gosh, Chun Li's Street Fighter. Holy
Hold on, what's the?
This is why I don't know. This is why I don't know.
why am I blanking on the
What is
name
it?
of the
Johnny Cage
character?
or whatever? That's his name.
Yeah. Why am I
Johnny
Johnny
Cage.
Cage.
Yep.
I think it was a still of him. But that's it.
Okay, so you are 50-50, do not
Yeah,
care.
I'm 50-50. Do
Also
not
excited.
care. Ask me about
Yeah.
Stranger Things and Tron, and you got me.
we'll come back to you. So Nathan, what did you think? Who did you figure out who you're trying to think of?
Yeah, I think first of all, so she was getting him confused with Liu Kang, which there is interesting that Liu Kang isn't in the trailer almost at all. I think he's still in the movie. I'm not sure, but it's an interesting choice to do a Mortal Kombat movie that's not centering Liu Kang. I think it's a good choice though, because Johnny, is it Johnny Cage? Is that the name of the character? Johnny Cage. He's more of a cinematic feeling character. He feel like he's an actor for one thing, but he feels like a character who should be walking us through this ridiculous premise. And also, I've never not been entertained by Carl Urban. He's just fun.
Correct. Even his bad movies, right? Yeah. Like, and movies can be bad for several reasons, but I don't think it's ever been because of Carl Urban.
He gives 100% and he has a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I did notice that, don't ask me his name because I will never remember it, even if you give me 1,000 years to try and do that. The original character that they created for the first Mortal Kombat movie that everybody was like, why did they do this? He's in the trailer for like a split second. I do think they're maybe going to kill him off. And that's why they're not really doing that, right? And they're just going to center it. They're going to pivot back to the actual Mortal Kombat type of like feel from a story perspective, and because there's a lot of Mortal Kombat lore, and that first movie did not really, it barely scratched the surface.
The first movie of this reboot was really like it's as if they wanted to do a whole bunch of stuff with the Scorpion character and what's been done with the Scorpion character over the last couple decades, but then they still underserviced that. Like, I'm struggling to remember anything from that reboot except for the backstory scene for Scorpion. Like when the actress playing Sonya showed up in the trailer, I was like, was she in the last one? Was she the main character of the last one? I can't remember.
Yeah. I think it was just Jax that was in the last one.
She was in the last one. She was the main character. I don't remember her at all.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's one of the main characters. I don't remember her at all. It's because the movie doesn't have like a clear protagonist. The original didn't, or the last one didn't have a clear protagonist, clear problem.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was not good.
It was a mess.
And it came out during the please sign up for HBO Max era. So they put every new movie straight to Max for free. Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely forgettable. But I'm looking forward to hopefully this one being redeeming the reboot movies a bit. Speaking of things that I've completely forgotten, Stranger Things has gotten it's another trailer.
And it's the official trailer.
And it's the official trailer, not just like the early footage that we got from Tudum.
No.
Yeah. And
we didn't even really get any footage from that. Like, it was mainly just a recap of all the other seasons that we got in that version. But this was like the official like 2-minute trailer for Stranger Things season 5, the finale. It looks pretty good. It looks like there's a lot of stuff that's gonna happen that I'm gonna like be so emotional from. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy that the trailer is 3 minutes long, but Netflix's official page calls it a teaser trailer.
Really?
I'm like, what do you think you're teasing?
I would hate for them to do anything longer than what they did, because it just, then you spoil a lot. I don't want to see
then they're just giving all of the moments. Yeah, it's a teaser trailer technically.
Yeah, no, I would call that official trailer. Netflix, okay. But there's a lot of hype around the internet for the finale coming out, and for especially them coming out during the holiday season, because like everyone's like, other people are going to be spending time with their family, like at the dinner table, whatever, eating. I'm going to be in my room or on the couch watching Stranger Things, and that's how I'm going to spend my holidays. And I'm like, yeah, me too, because I have to know what's going to happen like as soon as it comes out.
Yeah,
because then you run into spoilers like that. Spoilers come out so fast nowadays.
I do have to rewatch it, the series, though, to be honest with you. Like,
yeah,
it's been so long. Yeah. It's been so long that I just remember Sean Astin was in there, and then the kids do some stuff. They're figuring it out, and so like the vibe is the same.
That's
right? The vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vibe is the
I
same
won't.
in the trailer as the other seasons. I just don't
Yeah.
specifically remember anything that happened before.
Yeah, I remember I binged like all of the seasons, just kind of like being a dead weight in my bed watching them. This was probably during like COVID era too. So I had nothing better to do.
Right.
And I binged all of it and I was like, I don't know how I didn't watch this sooner because my mom and my brother watched when Stranger Things first came out. They watched it and I didn't watch it. I kind of like wasn't interested or whatever. I don't know. Whatever, my 16-year-old, because it came out in 2016, right? Like that's how long ago it was, 2017,
Something
Earlier than
like
2016.
that.
that, yeah.
Earlier than that.
Earlier than that, yeah. Like I was like kind of too young to really think I would enjoy this show much and whatever. So,
No,
but I
2016.
got
You were right.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't really want to watch it. But then I heard like I think it was season 4 was coming out. And I was told to watch the show. And so I watched 1, 2, and 3, binged it, and then I was prepped for season 4 to come out. And that's when like the internet was doing all these like not memes, but like there was so much cosplay going around, so much going on around and like Stranger Things and stuff, and you were seeing it a lot more. But yeah, I think I have to rewatch all the seasons now to prep for season 5 because there's a lot that happens and there's probably going to be like quite a bit of callbacks.
Yeah.
So I gotta prep myself.
I do feel like this is going to be uh maybe not from a story perspective, but I do think that Stranger Things is going to be very Game of Thrones, the way that it just ended and was never talked about again. It just, even House of the Dragon has been a little bit shaky with season 2. Like it's been hard to recapture that for Game of Thrones, and I think a lot of that is because seasons 7 and 8 were just so bleh. I do feel like this show has a little bit of that, but because of how long it's taken to get it done.
Yeah, I don't think the quality of the show is ever the problem. Like sometimes I'll think like maybe the show's going down. It doesn't. It doesn't get worse at any point. Well, that's not true. Season 3 is weaker. Season 3 is not bad. It's just weaker than the other seasons. But like season 4 was so good. Like I know a lot of people can hate on it, but the slasher elements, the Freddy Kruegerness of it, running up that hill, I loved it. And I think like even though I'm nervous about how long it always takes them to come out with the season, I think they're gonna hit it out of the park, and I think it'll have more staying power than Game of Thrones has for 2 reasons. One, I think it's less likely that they're going to screw the pooch with the story the way like a lot of people were disappointed with how Game of Thrones wrapped up. And the other is I think that more of the actors from Stranger Things are in the zeitgeist for other reasons, like David Harbour and all the different kid actors. And like a weird thing with Game of Thrones is that with the exception of Pedro Pascal, who was not a main recurring character in Game of Thrones, you don't see a lot from the rest of the Game of Thrones cast anymore. Like Sophie Turner's not a main name we're watching. Kit Harington's not a main name. Where did Emilia Clarke go? So
yeah, they went very indie route, artsy,
Yeah.
other
Well, except
things.
for the one girl is playing Supergirl now. She's kind of gotten back in like the like name drop or like like her name's out there again.
But she's only in like
the
first 2 or 3 episodes of House of the Dragon, right?
Of the first season, yeah.
And that's it. And yeah,
I think
and it's
I
like
think
Pedro
she did
Pascal.
what. Right. Yeah, they both did. They both used it as like okay, I need to focus on my career here because I'm not locked into this. I need to kind of get on this and make something out of the opportunity that I got. And Pedro Pascal, I think at that point he had gotten Narcos already.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like a relative unknown. But Millie, Supergirl, I think she definitely was lesser known than Pedro was at the time.
Yeah.
So she's definitely had her big break for sure. Going back to the Stranger Things cast, it's just so mind blowing to me that like these kids, Millie Bobby Brown's married at this point.
Yeah,
right?
she's like 21 or 22 and married. I'm like, damn.
Some of
and
the
she was a kid. when this
Yeah.
show started.
Some of the cast has and not like David Harbour and Winona, right? They're obviously grown-ups, but some of the kids have like entirely separate careers, right? Like
Yeah.
I think his name is Joe, the cool guy. What's his
Oh
name?
yeah,
The-
that Chicago song that everyone is
Yeah.
obsessed with and has been
Yeah.
for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got an entirely different, separate
Joe
career
Keery.
from just Joe Keery. Yep.
And he's a pretty serviceable actor in a bunch of stuff.
Eddie's doing great for sure. Gavin, I think his name is. Never
Yes.
Ending Story. That kid.
He's on. I don't know if he's on Broadway right now, but
He's
he
on
did-
Broadway, yeah, or he's doing
Yeah.
stage productions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
had that
that's
punk show.
kind of cool.
He had a prank show for a little while or something like that. Some kind of reality show that didn't go well.
Him and the I think his name is Eric, the actor's name.
Yeah.
One of the other kids on the show. They did a show together, that prank show together.
The one I'm the most
like-
excited about their career is Sadie Sink. I think Sadie Sink is insanely talented.
Well, she's got Spider-Man 4 under her belt
That's
right now.
right.
So.
I forgot that movie was that she was going to be in that. She thinks she's
Yeah.
going to play the second MJ. We'll have dueling MJs.
Well,
There's too many theories to throw around, and we've already talked
It
about it like a
is-
couple times on the pod.
it is possible, and this is a perfect segue. So for anybody listening, anybody viewing, Nathan has no idea what we're about to talk about. We
Yeah.
planned out this. We planned out today's topics for the day, and he had no idea this next topic that Stefania is bringing to us, which is that essentially Kevin Feige has fed us some information. He has unclassified some documents, but not too many. Stefania, what happened over the weekend with Kevin Feige?
Well, it looked like Kevin Feige had an interview or some sort of like magazine interview, whatever. There was a couple platforms that picked up on his interview though. So, but the big thing is that Kevin Feige confirmed that Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars, will be the reboot of the MCU, where we go back to one main timeline. And I also found this out today. Even to the point where Captain America and Iron Man will be recasted, just like how they always find a new James Bond and how they find a new Superman. So those are two or one of the major points of his interview that came out. Another one that I was pretty shocked about, because this seems to always happen in the MCU. The void that happened in Thunderbolts will not be addressed in Daredevil Season 2. I don't know if it's like it doesn't take place at that same time or not, or it's after or before, whatever. But I find it strange that, even with what happened in Eternals, that wasn't really like established until Captain America Brave New World, where we like figured out what's going on and people like found out about this thing sticking out of the ocean. But to not address the void in the same exact city where it happened and where Daredevil takes place in the same exact city, it's kind of weird. But that's another one. Number 3, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but we're going to try it. Jake Schreier, whatever. He is officially confirmed to direct the X-Men movie for the MCU. Kevin Feige confirmed that, and there is a script currently underway. So that's very exciting to me as an X-Men fan. You can see my background here. If you're listening, I have a whole shelf full of X-Men stuff. I'm a big X-Men fan. So that's exciting for me. And I believe, I don't know if Kevin said this, but I read it somewhere, that I think he said it, that Jake has a way of getting like a young person's perspective for the X-Men, because he said that like a lot of young people are going to gravitate towards the X-Men when they are introduced, especially with their backstory and stuff. So he believes that Jake has a talent for, I guess, trying to gather the young perspective's eye. Next, there's a lot. The MCU is going crazy after Superman coming out. Kevin said, we're dropping all this information.
Kevin Feige, he took his baseball cap and he put it backwards.
He put it backwards.
He was ready to.
Ready. John Bernthal will officially be returning as the Punisher in Spider-Man 4, which is very exciting. Although I think this came out earlier, but I want to recap it again. John Bernthal is coming back as the Punisher for Spider-Man 4. Very, very exciting. We're going to see how Spidey and Punisher work together. And when Punisher blows somebody's brains out, Spider-Man is gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Or
So I can't
Spider-Man
wait to
says,
see
"My
that.
turn. Show me how."
No, that's an alternate timeline. We don't. That's a whole different Spider-Man.
Well,
Next,
that's the next point is that Zack Snyder's coming in to make his
uh,
own.
you and
No, I'm
Zack
just kidding.
Snyder, man.
I
um,
will never not miss an opportunity to make a Zack Snyder joke.
yes, we definitely know that now. Um, Now, keeping up with Spider-Man news here, Kevin Feige said that they are not allowed to bring Miles Morales into the MCU just yet. So there's a lot of legal issues they have to go through. If they do want to acquire Miles into the MCU, they'll have to probably do something along the lines of with what they did with Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Now, I believe Justin said this a couple pods ago, where Miles can be used possibly in TV format because they have the rights for TV Spider-Man and Spider-Man characters, but not in MCU movies. So obviously, Miles will not be showing up in Brand New Day. So that's something. Legal troubles, you gotta love it. You really do with Sony
Mm-hmm.
and their Spider-Man characters. But
Mm-hmm.
I have one more here, and this is one of those where it's like, this is still happening. Like I thought, but there are, or were, I guess, 4 versions of Blade that they had come up with. And I guess I don't know if they wrote scripts for each version, but they had come up with 4 versions of Blade. But they ended up going with a modern take on his story. So with if anyone doesn't know, Blade and the MCU have been just a long waiting game, back and forth, recasting and all that. They confirmed Blade to be a movie, I don't know how many years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
it's been years and we have not gotten any news on what's going on with Blade. Mahershala Ali is supposed to be playing Blade, but it's gotten to a point where it's like, is he still interested? Because an actor can get to a certain point where like now you're waiting too long. Now there's like back and forth. Now we're not sure if we're gonna do this. I'm kind of done. I'm gonna drop from this project, and they're gonna go on and do something else. Actors have done that before. I don't know what Mahershala Ali is thinking at this moment, but it's been a long, long time since we've really gotten anything on Blade. So we don't know when it's happening, or who is playing Blade. I mean, oh, it's so messy.
It,
I think the best thing, the funniest thing about Blade is that it's like, I guess it's not funny, but to me, it's more just like, why did you have 4 different versions that you couldn't decide between? Like, how did you get to that point? Because I
How'd
could
you get the
understand,
four?
like,
Yeah.
I can understand, like, oh, this is this script, this story with like slight alterations, this and that. But if you've got everything from like a, you know, Gotham by Gaslight version of Blade to, a modern day Blade, like what got you guys there? That's the frustrating part for me.
it really emphasizes the extent to which do I want to talk negatively about Marvel? Yeah, sure. It really emphasizes the extent to which once a company hits a certain size, they start to get pretty reactionary, where they're like, "Oh, we've got this version, but it's hindered on this other movie doing well. Oh, that movie didn't do quite well. We're going to course correct a little bit." You
Hmm.
see it a whole lot with Lucasfilm, where it's like, "We have this plan coming out, but the director that we signed on so confidently just had a bomb at the box office, so we're going to fire them."
No,
And
that's a perfect example actually, and I think it highlights the fact that, and a lot of people don't realize it, but everything that we're going through right now in this, with the state of technology the way that it is and how every day there's something new, just 5 years ago AI wasn't what it was like. Just five
Hmm.
years before that, social media wasn't what it was like.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm is a perfect example where they pivoted and the sequel trilogy is a disaster, right? There's people that love it, but from like an overarching story that they were telling, there's weak spots, right?
Yeah.
Um, the most recent version of this is Superman. The squirrel scene was almost cut from the movie
Yeah.
because focus groups were like, I don't like that. Why is he saving a squirrel? Blah blah blah. And James Gunn made the decision to just be like, no, I need this in there, and it's in there, and it's for the most part been
Yeah.
relatively loved in terms of like a moment within the movie, and then the movie itself has just been critically and audiences alike seem to like the movie. So I think it's more so like what you were saying. They've been reactionary, and they're starting to realize right now, like, hey, we don't have to be as reactionary.
Yeah, stop reacting to trolls online. Stop letting focus groups be what decides whether or not you move forward with your movie. Like focus groups, I know people who edit major films, and it's like focus groups help you find little things that you can tweak, sure. But like another thing that almost got lost in the cutting room floor in a focus group. Sorry, I have a storm starting outside. I just reacted to thunder. But another thing that almost got lost to a focus group this year was the Sinners monologue about that one character getting lynched. The guy, when they're in the car and he tells that really emotional story.
Yes.
That almost didn't make it in. The actor had to be like, hey, you should totally
need
put
it
that
in.
monologue back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it would have been. How I wonder what makes you decide you want that part cut out of the film, like as a viewer, because that's something that honestly I feel like was put in there to make viewers uncomfortable, and give you kind of like this realization because you're listening to someone telling this story, and now you're sitting there like, oh, this makes me. I bet the person watched that or heard that and was like, I feel uncomfortable. I kind of don't like this in there. That's the point. You have to feel uncomfortable. That's why it's in there.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, but it's not like you can't trust focus groups to be like, oh, this sucks, take it out. But then you as a director or like a writer, but as a director, you saw this vision and you're like, this is what I wanted to show, and this is how I wanted it to be portrayed. Maybe there is a different way to portray it, but like this is kind of like my bread and butter right here. And for you to say it should be taken out, I kind of feel like I have a gut feeling that should stay,
There are two things that happen with a focus group that really lead to bad decisions, but are like understandable psychological places. One is from like a director, editor, producer perspective, and the other is from the audience perspective. If you get invited to go to a test screening as a test audience, there is an expectation to find something to criticize a lot of the time, whether they're going to give you something to write down, or it's like if your friend said, hey, I just wrote this, short story. Can you tell me what you think? And you have like this pressure to say more than just, well, it was good. I don't know. I have to sit with it. You want to say, well, I don't know how I feel about this thing. And like the other thing is that they ask questions about like, did this make you uncomfortable? What did you enjoy? What did you not enjoy? And so there can be elements that you didn't enjoy, but are artistically meant, as you said, to make you uncomfortable, to make you not enjoy them. A character death that's meant to be upsetting, a moment that's meant to be something that you chew on later. But because you're, directly asked what made you uncomfortable or what didn't you like, that's something that you answer. And then from a director, producerial, editor perspective, they're constantly looking to trim runtime, whether it's just to make the movie shorter and, then more digestible for scheduled screens, or because they're trying to, get a better MPAA rating. Maybe they're like, oh, if I cut this, maybe this will take it from rated R to PG-13. Maybe they'll make it so that it can show in China. Who knows? But so there's an over instinct to cut and an over instinct to criticize that really can be dangerous in that, in that feedback stage.
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're about to let loose.
I was just gonna say, yeah, we'll see if Blade ever makes it to a test screening.
Yeah, well, it's if Justin was here, he'd say that shit ain't happening, right?
But I don't think Mahershala Ali. I don't think that he has the superhero actor aspirations nearly as much as he has the let's get me another Oscar aspirations. So like the most similar situation was The Rock getting signed on in 2014 to play Black Adam, and we didn't see that for 8 years. This is now going on 6 years because he was announced. Mahershala Ali was announced in 2019. I don't think he's gonna. The Rock has different reasons to have that kind of staying power and consistency.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be this character. Mahershala Ali's gonna go like, hey, I got a better paycheck somewhere over here with people that are
Yeah.
gonna respect.
Well, look.
What I've
Well,
got to
hold
offer.
on.
There's also
To-
COVID too.
But
COVID
to
too
The
pushed that
Rock's
back.
credit, yeah, COVID did kind of extend that.
Yeah.
But to The Rock's credit, the hierarchy of power of the DCEU did in fact change. Okay, not because of Black Adam, or I guess maybe because of Black Adam being critically and commercially a failure, but it did change. It did end up changing. He did fulfill that prophecy. So maybe we will end up seeing Mahershala Ali as Blade. One of the
No,
other
they
Black
haven't.
Adam.
They have all of MCU, or as Black Adam.
Yeah.
Well, they have all of the rebooted MCU planned out until 2032. So Blade could show up between now and 2032.
So go ahead.
I'm just not confident at all that the version of the MCU we're going to get by 2032 is going to be the same one that they have planned out today.
Definitely not.
But in contrast, I love so much what James Gunn's talking about in regards to DC, where people ask him, like, hey, is there like a hot girl movie coming? And he goes, not till there's a script. Nothing is announced until I have a script.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Period.
So
Yeah.
there is definitely part of that same interview Stefania recapped for us is that the focus moving forward is going to be on singular stories. And I think Kevin Feige specifically said less homework going into future movies, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of those instances, and this is something that I think Kevin Feige does for the most part fairly well, is that he does pick what is worth picking from feedback.
Yeah.
And for us that know ball, right, we will talk all day long about this. But for the casual audiences, the audiences that are going to take it from a 400 million at the box office to a 600 million at the box office or higher, for those people, they probably feel like this is just something that is not, that they're not immersed enough in to appreciate. And again, if Justin were here, he'd talk about his parents, and he judges these movies based off of how digestible it was for his mom. Did she know what was going on? Was she confused? Why are there two different Batmans? That kind of deal is that's what he asks his parents after they watch movies. So Kevin Feige did confirm that they're going to focus more on singular stories, that it's more of just you can go watch it. You don't have to be fully invested. You don't have to be this expert on the universe in order to appreciate these movies.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it too. Like the James Bond series, where it's like, hey, you get it. He's a spy. He's got these personality traits. Maybe a character shows up that's got history with him, but you don't need to know what that history is. And that's kind of how the first four, the original like Schumacher and Burton Batman are. You don't really need to know what happened in any other movie. You can just pick up starting at Batman Forever.
Yeah, even the first, even Batman 89, right? He was already. You said Burton. You're right. Sorry. But what's interesting out of all of this too, and I think probably I don't think enough people are talking about this, but Feige confirmed they would be looking at recasting some actors or some of the more iconic roles, because Secret Wars is going to serve as a reset of sorts, and they're going to go back to a singular
like Captain America and Iron
timeline.
Man.
Yeah. So Captain America and Iron Man are getting recast.
Yeah.
I have a theory on how this is going to work.
Tom Cruise, now is your moment.
Yeah, Stefania, what do you think about this? About not having RDJ and Chris Evans in the role?
Well, it just happens where like you get old. You get older. You can't. I mean, RDJ. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you old, but you get older. And you're limited to stuff that you can do. I mean, in the comics, no one ages, right? They just kind of continue the story like they don't age. But it gets to a point where like, all right, now we kind of need someone younger to do this role because there's a lot more things we want to try, a lot more tech that we could work with. And we just need that like flexibility of this person to be able to do that. and you're gonna limit yourself if you're older trying to do these. Because then you're gonna have a stunt double do everything, right? I mean, not like they don't have stunt doubles, but like then you get to a point where it's like just stunt doubles, and it's like,
Yeah.
is it
I mean,
really like?
honestly, they already had RDJ on platforms because he was
They
short.
did, yeah, yeah, but
And not that that makes a huge difference, but it's like how much of a person can you just like manipulate for the
yeah,
camera, especially
mm-hmm,
when they're, I think he's 60 at this point, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, that happens all the time where like a certain a character needs to be like tall, much taller than like the other person. Like there has to be like a huge height difference, and they don't cast people with that exact height difference, but they kind of make do with like platforms and camera angles and stuff like that. That's not really like hard to do. So
Hmm.
it all depends on like if like when they auditioned, right? If they actually saw like you can have the face and you can have the talent for this role, but then like if there's a height requirement or like the character is supposed to be like 7 feet tall or like whatever, 6 feet tall, and they are like 5'5", um, then you can get away with that. But like seeing as a director or a writer, you're like, this person looks like this character. This person literally acts like how I want this character to be. They're perfect. They are shorter than they're supposed to be, but we can make this work. And also there are times where like like a male and a female based off like I don't know, a book, right? Because I'm a book girl. Um but like say the male character is supposed to be like 6'5", right? And the female character is supposed to be um like much shorter or like 5'5", whatever, something like that. They can get away with it where like it's a foot difference, right? And say they cast somebody that's like 6 feet tall and a girl that's like 5 feet tall or 5'1", 5'2". That's close enough, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like you start to limit yourself with people that would be great for a role when you start looking at this like, oh, but they don't meet the height requirement or they don't like,
Hmm.
kind of look like the character when there's
Yeah.
such thing as like makeup, prosthetics, or stuff
Or
like that.
or even just
Superman's a great
ignoring
example.
canon because it's entertaining.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I feel like we have to stop steering towards like they have to look exactly like this person, exactly like whatever, whatever, and start using like your makeup department, your SFX department. Like that's their job to make this person look like the character.
Well,
I get it, like it takes less work, but like I feel like we should go more off of like talent and
the,
like obviously look too, but like talent is very important.
I also think that there's like an extent to which sometimes the look ends up being an incidental thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
no one or fans were up in arms on like 90s message boards when it was announced that Hugh Jackman was going to play Wolverine because he
Yeah.
was way too tall. And
Yeah.
they didn't do anything to make him seem shorter in the movies. They just said,
No,
who cares?
who
We're
cares?
going to
Yeah.
ignore that element because this guy's going to be entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now he's like the only Wolverine we ever
Yeah.
will know.
Now it's
it's
going to
like
be
you cast
impossible to
somebody-
recast him.
Yeah. I mean, now you
I
get
wouldn't
like
hate
more
it.
accurate Wolverine, and you're
Danny
like
DeVito.
Danny DeVito. And hey, you might be like, that's a really great Wolverine, but there's just something about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine that will always stick with me. And that's towards the older fans, right? Younger fans are gonna see this new Wolverine and be like, that's my Wolverine.
Yeah. There's a great thing in baseball. Baseball being, I've realized, like baseball was the MCU of 30 years ago, in a lot of ways, and like it's what every young person was obsessed with. It's what a lot of the pop culture was obsessed with. Movies were about nostalgia for baseball, and there's a wisdom of baseball. It's like what the best team or the best year of baseball ever is always the year when you were 10 years old. Like whatever year you first got into baseball, you roughly around 10, that's when everybody was just perfect to play this, perfect at that. And it's the same thing with like whose Spider-Man was the best, the one that you saw first when you were at the right
when
age.
you were 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the interesting part in all of this, specifically, I think it's all like just signaling that things are heading in a more comic booky direction, right? They're focused on singular stories I'm sure they'll still have Avengers movies. I'm sure there's still going to be interconnectivity. They're going to have team ups, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But what a lot of people don't realize, and I think this is why they get disappointed with the films, is that there are so many fucking comic books
There are
about so
so
many
many
different
storylines.
things, so many
Yeah.
different types of stories, tones, genres. Characters like Squirrel Girl exist in the same
Hmm.
universe as literally Celestials, right? So it's, there's such a wide span of things. So I like that they're not going to be as interconnected.
Yeah.
Specifically with the recasting, I do think that the Avengers uh, are going to take a back seat. And I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
because they're going to be focused on X-Men, the Avengers are going to just not be a focus, and at times maybe even serve as a pseudo antagonist to the X-Men team, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, the X-Men are going to go intervene in something, and they send the Avengers to kind of stop them, right? And maybe
Hmm.
that's a future team up where they're kind of hinting at that for Secret Wars already, but I think that's not going to be the true X-Men versus Avengers. I think X-Men versus Avengers is going to be like in 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
So I think part of the recast is because of that. It's going to be like, this is a new era. We're taking this opportunity to do a bit of a reset on everything. And yeah, we can't have RDJ doing this forever,
Yeah.
right? Chris Evans he looks great, but he's also up there in age where, we can't have a 50, 60-year-old Captain America because in real life, he's not a super soldier. He's going to look his age.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
And also
Nathan,
like
yeah, what do you think?
I was gonna say, and also at the same time as not being able to have a 40, 50, 60 year old Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, you really also can't have a Marvel continuity that doesn't have Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. Not because a story
Right.
can't exist without them, but it feels empty and weird to not have your big hitters. Just the same way as it did to have the Avengers in 2012 and not have Spider-Man in that world. You're like, where
Hmm.
are the people who I know should be inhabiting this world
Yep.
as a
Yeah.
fan? So
And what's interesting about all of this too is I think they've become Steve and Tony and Thor as well, but I think lesser so. But Steve and Tony have become such like iconic characters that it's hard to build a universe around them and get people that are just as invested as into those other characters. And we see it now where, Riri Williams obviously is going to get comparisons to Iron Man, but I feel like everybody gets compared to Iron Man. Every movie gets compared to Winter Soldier in terms of how good it is and stuff like that. So I think they're recasting also in a sense to kind of knock them down in terms of like how iconic they are, to give that opportunity in fans' brains to say like, let me give these other things a shot. And I do have a theory that with movies like Superman coming out, movies like Fantastic Four about to drop in a couple of days, I think that's going to usher us into this era of more fun and fantastical and enjoyable, hopeful superhero films.
mhm.
And I do think it's going to help the fandom at large. I do think so, because I think it's going to kind of move away from like, borderline military propaganda type films like the
Oh, I don't think
MCU
we're
seems
ever
to
going
be
to move away from
sometimes.
those. I think those will always be as
Less,
long.
just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's always going to be Shield. There's always going to be, Planet Watch, that kind of stuff. But I do think that it's going to heal the fandom a bit because it's going to expose people to like what comic books should be. I hate to use that
Well,
expression.
I think it's also going to let people cordon themselves off in a good way. Like a problem with 2010s filmmaking and 2010s franchise movies in general had been how much everything was designed to appeal to everyone, which
Right.
means you get so much backlash if everybody's like, well, this movie's supposed to be for me too. This is supposed to be my genre too.
Yeah.
But if you can make a Moon Knight movie that is a Moon Knight movie, and you make flip side over here, you've got, your Ironheart movie that's an Ironheart movie, you can have these fans be able to go, oh, I don't need this one. I'm going to go enjoy this one, as opposed to being like, well, the whole thing's for me. I have to watch it all I have to watch it all, and therefore I have to like it all. And I
Yeah.
think if people realized they didn't have to like everything, the temperature would be dropped quite a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's actually a really good point because I have seen people say, especially with the box office flops, they'll, like the people that just want to be professional haters, right? There's kind of two sides of that aisle, right? The people that will hate on everything and whatever, and then there's the people that will be like, yeah, it wasn't for me, but it was an okay movie, right? Um, they'll say something to the effect of like, it just wasn't for you, right? Oh, you didn't like the Marvels? It just wasn't for you. You didn't like Ironheart, She-Hulk, right? It just wasn't for you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not for comic book fans. It just means that it's a particular subset of that audience that is going to enjoy it more, relate to it more. It's a different kind of
You're
story
not
than
part
your
of the
typical
target demo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
right.
yeah, and
Right.
it's like
But you
the
still
movie
are.
wasn't
You still are,
Yeah.
but not as precise.
Yeah, and there's a thing where it's like a movie doesn't have to be great. Like some of these movies we say it's not for you, is like, well, does that mean the movie's great? No, I still see there's flaws. Like, it's a flawed movie. We have to accept that the vast majority of movies that are good, rewatchable, worth talking about are like a 6 and a 7 out of 10. For some people, they're gonna be an 8 out of 10. It really hit all the right chords. But like overall, everything's got its flaws. The thing is, it's not for you in the sense that it's like, hey, you were only ever going to get a 6 out of 10 experience from this. You're not part of the target demo that's going to really, it's going to really respond to this strongly.
Yep, exactly. Stefania, what do you think is going to be the highlight of the next, what is it, 7-year plan, right? In the next 7 years, what do you think is going to probably be the breakout hit? I probably know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
I think it's obvious because I hear a lot of people saying this too, but it's going to be X-Men for sure. If their sole focus is going to be X-Men and they're going to do a mutant saga, they are going to be the breakout stars of the MCU. We had our Avengers team, we had their run for the first 2-3 phases, and it was a great run, but they're going to take a back seat in this, and X-Men are going to kind of shine. There's a lot of stories they could do with them. There's a lot of fantastic characters they can use, even ones that are not part of the main X-Men team. You also have multiple X-Men teams. You have Excalibur, you have Cable's team. I forgot Cable's team is called X-Force. You have also the Extreme X-Men, which I love that run, by the way. Not just like the regular X-Men. You have the blue team, you have the gold team. There's so many things you could do. You also have the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. There's a lot that you can cover with just the X-Men, and they need a phase of their own to really get through all of that. A couple of phases, I would say.
Yeah.
I want to see.
But I think their stories are going to shine, especially with like younger generation. It's going to really shine for them.
What is and we kind of need it now too, right? Like, if I'm being honest here, we've got fucking Gen Z running the White House Instagram account. Like, we need to combat this with, some X-Men for a younger generation, right? For them to kind
I prefer not for this presidency, but yes.
Yes, exactly. I do want to see, what's the Canadian team? Alpha Flight?
Alpha Flight, yep.
I would like to see them. And I think Wolverine comes in and out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be like an interesting, fun way to also make this like fun, right? Because I feel like X-Men, what people tend to stick to is like some of the heavier stuff. But I think, again, Fantastic Four might not be so much of a good concept for this, but Superman is a good concept for proof of concept for a movie that can treat very serious themes and talk about very serious things, important things, but also be really fun.
Yeah.
Like, and drop you in a universe. It doesn't have to spend half the movie explaining an origin or background information or whatever. Like, hey, superheroes exist. Superheroes exist.
I do.
Go ahead.
I do think that there was like we went through a time where too many of these superhero movies felt like they needed to be gritty and serious when the material did not really lend itself to as gritty and serious as the movie tried to be. And a lot of those movies had their own problems too. Like, I'm thinking like Fan Four Stick and New Mutants, and those have more problems than the tone. But if you say, I'm not beholden to this dark, gritty tone, I can have fun in this way or that way or the other, that gives the artists, the creatives, whether it's writer, director, whatever, more opportunities to entertain the audience. The difficult thing about trying to make these things dour and serious and not as fun and lighthearted is that you do lose more opportunities for entertainment. The more fun and lighthearted a movie can be, that's more opportunities to give people a good time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And actually, and it's funny because the memes and the like humor that kind of, humor at the expense of the genre is very much like, oh, explosions and skybeam and all this kind of stuff. And it's almost like unwarranted to a certain extent because we have barely seen bona fide superpowers consistently in the genre. It's very like, especially in the MCU, right? So I think something I'm looking forward to is like in Superman, where you're seeing constructs consistently throughout the entire movie. You're seeing Metamorpho using his powers full blown consistently. Hawk Girl was a little bit different because her power set is just more kind of realistic, so to speak. But Mr. Terrific, right? His little T-spheres and the way they go into the kaiju and they blow up, like with that, like even in a Batman movie with the gadgets, we have not seen anything like that. I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. Fantastic Four, are you fucking kidding me? I just got goosebumps thinking about it. Like the Thing in live action is gonna slap, right? Like they're gonna take what worked from the Hulk and give it a little bit more personality, right? Because he does have a little bit more personality. Human Torch, Invisible Woman, Stretcho, right? I can't wait for the Thing to say Stretcho. But seeing these powers in real life is going to be really cool. And I think that's definitely where we're heading with the X-Men, because it's literally like their whole thing.
Yeah.
Is but what are you looking? Which power? Which mutant? Which mutate? Just doesn't matter who it is, but who do you want to see in live action using their powers?
Ooh.
You can't say Magneto.
I'm really looking forward to Angel and Angel turning into Archangel. Like I want that whole, I want to see beautiful, angelic, wonderful wings for a whole movie, and then I want another movie where they're taken away and he gets the blades.
I'd say for
Okay.
me, it's Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see. I mean, I love Nightcrawler in live action form of what was it? First Class, Apocalypse? Which one? Oh no, sorry.
One
Oh
of
my
those.
God, X2.
X2 and Apocalypse.
X2. X2, yeah. I am very excited. I mean, Alan Cumming is coming back to play Nightcrawler anyway, but I'm very excited to see with today's technology and like with the MCU's VFX team, whatever, how they use Nightcrawler's powers.
Okay.
Yeah.
My person was actually Reed Richards. Seeing the stretch powers, the way that they work, like that, for me, that's one of the things that in the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four movies, I really liked the way that he would stretch and he would be different shapes, his arms would go. Seeing some of the trailers for the Fantastic Four movie so far have me a little bit on the fence on how it's gonna look finally. But that's what I'm looking forward to the most. I don't know, jury's still out. I do like the Archangel thread though, especially because it's got an opportunity for like very cool visuals behind it, like angelic, obviously visuals. So we'll see. We'll see. The MCU tends to not really get that heavy though, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you the other thing that I'd really love to see that doesn't require a heavy Apocalypse storyline. I very specifically want a Bobby Iceman incarnation where the first time we see him, he's a snowman and he learns to be full ice. Like that,
Okay.
I would love that.
You want like a Dr. Manhattan style.
Yeah, well, I
Learn
want
to
him
use my
start with,
powers.
like the '60s style where he looks like Frosty the Snowman, and then he like refines his powers.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. It's just there's so many. Okay, we gotta end the show because there's so many ideas.
There's so much we can talk about
when it comes to this. Yeah, but it was a great time having you on here, Nathan. For those of you watching, listening, let them know where, Nathan, where can they find you?
You can find me on pretty much every social media platform except for the terrible ones. No, I'm kidding. You can find me on every social media platform at The Favoring Wind. You can go to my website if you want to read my writing, and keep an eye out. I will hopefully be announcing some like short film stuff over the course of the next few months. So just follow, and things will be around.
Some pumpkin spice harvester,
That's right. Constantly.
short stories, short
Yeah.
films,
Hell yeah, get into the
that kind of
season.
stuff.
I have
Hell yeah,
a very long Halloween novella. Maybe I'll just read my Halloween novella while I'm drinking pumpkin spice.
Hell
Absolutely.
yeah. We're people of culture on this podcast, all right? We drink our
Yes.
pumpkin spice, reading pumpkin spice Halloween novellas.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, thanks again for tuning in and sticking with us. As always, make sure to leave comments. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Hit the like button, the follow button, subscribe button, depending on what platform you're in. We're also still looking for reviews. We don't have any reviews or ratings on Spotify from you guys, okay? And it's breaking Stefania's heart. She grinds away editing this show and uploading it for you guys, okay? Not for me, not for herself, not for Nathan and his pumpkin spice beers, but for you guys. So please leave us some ratings on Spotify
Please.
and Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. And make sure to tune in next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Nathan, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.